Go. Wow. What can I say? It's a very difficult life being a writer, I have to admit. And the time that you spend alone, locked away writing, it all comes to this moment. I can't thank you enough. It's really overwhelming to see this many people here coming out to support me, knowing that you want to read this book that I put my heart and soul into. So this is what it's about for me, especially now that I'm doing fiction. It's a lot more reclusive than it was when I was out in the field with Joe G. Quinto over there, working on the Ghosts of Long Island book. So thank you all for coming. I do want to make a couple of announcements. We have some cannolis here tonight, which is a theme in the book. Of course, everything I do has to have something to do with food. So I want to thank Johnny Ambrosio for that tonight, and that's the book is dedicated to him. And I think we have, I don't know, the Bell Downs are probably around here somewhere from Mr. Sausage. And I also would like to have a couple of other thank yous. I'd like to thank Chris Calora, and he may interview some of you, just so you're aware. Chris comes with me everywhere. He works for Long Island Online News, and he realizes what it's like following a crazy author. I put him through all kinds of interesting things. So I want to thank him for covering this event and all of my events. And mostly I would like to thank Bob Klein and Richard Klein of Book Revue. It was about 20 years ago that Bob Klein decided to take a no-name, unknown author and put a sign up in the window. And he took a chance on me, and I promised him that I would bring a lot of people. And I'm still promising him that I will always bring a lot of people into Book Revue. And I just want to thank him for that opportunity, because Book Revue is near and dear to my heart. When I first got my driver's license and I started driving to Huntington to get ice cream, one of my first stops was always at Book Revue. So I remember this place when it was a little tiny store, just starting out, and it's grown into this wonderful establishment. So I'm really, for the independent booksellers and for the family-run businesses, and they have a great thing going here. It was really an honor, so thank you. It was an honor for me the other night to be here with Nelson Zamel, and the two of us are always back to back. We had our posters in the window together, and I had the opportunity of sitting with him before his event and talking to him, and we exchanged books and everything, so it was really nice. So they have some great people coming up too. I can't wait to see Carla Hall coming up from Top Chef. So this is always the start of my book launch. So from here I will be doing other events that will be full lectures about the book. Tonight I'm just going to give you an overview. Since there's a lot of people here, I'll probably talk for about 20 minutes to a half hour. And but if you want to catch any of my full lectures, then you could go to my website, padrepomedal.com, to find out about that. So let me tell you a little bit about the book, The Medal. Okay, this is my 6th book. It's my debut novel, and it was a very challenging project to do this. But to give you an overview, young pastry chef Bethany Fitzpatrick gives up her dreams of working for this great pastry chef in Manhattan because she has to come back to the town of Northport. That's where the book is set. And she has to come back to care for her father, who is stricken with multiple sclerosis. Now, this is no easy feat. She's very young. In the book, she doesn't have a mother, and she's left in a world that no one really understands. Her friends are all married, have kids, have a life of their own, but she's trying to run a bakery plus take care of her father, who she loves dearly. But the role of the caretaker is often a very, very difficult and challenging one. As time goes on, she starts to question her own life, and she starts to really give up on her faith and in God, and she doesn't think that she could go on and handle the situation anymore. Number one, it's taking a huge toll on her, but number two, why should she have to go through this? Her father was someone that was the world to her. Why did he have to get this illness? Why was she given this plot in life? So just when things get really, really bad, she's on the verge of a nervous breakdown. In walks a stranger into her bakery, reminiscent of someone from the movie The Godfather. And she's very scared. She doesn't know who this is. And he starts to talk to her about miracles and asks her if she's ever heard of Padre Pio. who bore the stigmata, which is the 5 wounds of Christ. He begins to teach her throughout the book, so I do weave the history of Padre Pio throughout the book. And slowly she starts to trust him and regain her faith. Towards the end of the book, there's a lot of twists and turns, things that you don't really expect to happen do happen. But I would like to tell you a little bit about the inspiration behind the whole thing. And she was given a medal, okay, from this character, Jimmy. And it was the medal that had changed her life, and thus that's the name of the book. And it was a medal that was given to me that had changed my life and was really the inspiration behind this entire thing. A lot of times we go through awful things in our lifetime and we think that we're really, really alone. Whether it's the death of someone, an illness, it could be any kind of thing, financially, whatever. And this book is written for people in that situation. It's written for caretakers. A lot of books are written about people that are going through actual illnesses and things. But this book was written for that caretaker because I think all too often it's really very misunderstood. Caretakers feel very alone. They don't know how to proceed with their own life when they're taking care of someone. So what I've done with this book, I wanted to have one strong character with Bethany Fitzpatrick. So I took what I had witnessed and felt during my father's long battle with MS and what my mother had gone through, and I made one strong character. So there's no mother in the book, you'll have to find out what happens to her. But I had taken that and really melded to have this one character. And from there, the story, just proceeds about different things that I experienced. So I can tell you, all the things that happen in this book, they are based on some true things, and there is a miracle that takes place in the book. So when you do read it, know that that actually happened to me. And it was so inspirational that I really felt that I was led to write this particular book. It was a good way to move from the nonfiction books with ghosts into this because I love history, as you know. I always say I'm a historian first and a ghost investigator second. So with this book, I was able to take the information I learned about Padre Pio and weave it throughout the book as told by the character of Jimmy. And so you'll learn all these different things. Now people have said, oh, well, do you have to be Catholic to read this book? No, you don't, because I was given a 5-star rating from Reader's Choice Awards, and the woman was not Catholic, and she said that anyone could read this book because of the inspiration behind it. But also, Padre Pio has influenced so many people. I was speaking to a woman who is Jewish about a week or so ago, who was cured from breast cancer. And she told me that she had learned about Padre Pio and put a prayer card in her wallet and prayed to him. And she swears by it. She swears that it was Padre Pio that had cured him. But the thing to remember, too, we ask God of certain things, and it's not always the way we want it to turn out. But sometimes other things come about that change our lives, people that we meet, situations that we're put in, are meant to be, so we can move on our own journey, because ultimately this lifetime is about our journey, about how we can get through even the most of trying times. So I really wanted to write a book that really would make a difference in the world, and it was challenging to do this. There was a lot of people who did not believe in this book, did not believe that a book that has to do with God, and I'm not afraid to say that word in public, and that it's just a nice story. It's a nice story that'll really help get people through life. So I say, move over 50 Shades of Grey, you have some competition.